Totally.
No, like you will start.
Oh, I start.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna do the intro.
Nah.
Okay. Uh,
No,
yeah.
it's fine.
Okay.
It's fine. We'll cut it.
Okay, wonderful. Hi guys. So today, TS is sitting on the other side because normally he's the guy that's recording and like actually doing the questioning. So today he's the man on the spot. So yeah, man, not like I'm a guest, but just came through today to just talk about the boys' run from Gauteng to Cape Town. So essentially, we're trying to understand what was the idea around it, how was the experience, and who was involved, and how has the impact been. So yeah, man. Cheers.
That's it.
Njani?
I'm alright, dude. How are you?
I'm good, man.
Welcome to my hood.
Yeah. Oh, I
think you
forgot to
forgot to
say.
say.
I forgot to say. But oh, damn, Sise Katlehong, man. It's my first time. Now, I'm from Cape Town, so it's my first time in Katlehong. I'm in TS Hood, Kasiake. Such a beautiful place. So Ngogo, we're just in his backyard where he grew up in. So that's like nice. That's like nice. Yeah.
It's a back room setting.
Exactly.
It's not the normal one that people are used to with fancy cameras, fancy lighting. So we raw thogging it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Just like the run.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
Oh, that is something else, but yeah.
No. Let's just get into it. So,
Sure.
what was the run about?
So initially I thought the run was about people more than me, but the run was for me as well. The run was about me, but the mission and the cause and the purpose behind it was genuinely about people, right? The run was for abantwana basekasi, man. We've walked around the township, we've seen how certain inequalities are very prevalent. So for me, the biggest cause of the run or the biggest purpose was to try and bridge the gap between the elite schools and the Kasi schools.
Yeah.
So you know I run Ulwazi, right? And Ulwazi, we are a township Christian academy with a mission to actually push abantwana basekasi to have good academic records, but over and above that, we try and expose them to different things where they can actually get to places like UCT and not feel lost, right? So the run was to raise money so that we can actually grow the impact from only focusing on 100 learners. Maybe next year we can have 1,000 or 2,000 learners, and literally just grow and spread the gospel of education, but over and above that, mentorship, entrepreneurship, exposing learners to different types of opportunities as well.
Oh,
So,
wonderful.
yeah.
No, that's because for me that's very interesting because you chose to run
Yeah.
as an initiate to like raise awareness. Why that?
Um, I think I wanted something that's gonna test my discipline and focus. I knew that everything else, I mean, someone made a comment to say the money that I used to buy a buggy and a polo this year could have been the money that I used there. But I'm like, nah, just giving away money, it won't raise the awareness that we want. Right now, all over South Africa, people are talking about this run because they've seen it, and it's been shown that it's possible for someone to actually run from Joburg to Cape Town, right? But over and above that, I needed to find something that I hated doing. I hate running, to be quite honest,
Yeah.
because it tests a lot of things, man. It tests your mental discipline, it tests your focus, this and that. So I'm like, you know what, if I can do something that I hate for 30 days straight, that might be interesting. So I chose running.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. Because now, for me, it's like very interesting because people normally just feel like, "Hey guys, I've started this, this
Yeah.
go fund me campaign. This is intended to just go towards this initiative that I'm part of."
Yeah.
When you chose running, and just outside of the camera, you mentioned something about the fact that you yourself, having grown up, you understand and lived through the same experiences that kids today that are in school are kind of going through, and those are the ones that you are trying to take care or trying to give them access to things that can better their lives
Sure.
through Ulwazi, but also through this running campaign.
Sure.
Like, would you describe that from a lived experience?
Okay, so this is where I grew up. And when we drive out closer to Germiston, I'll show you where I attended school, and I used to walk from here to that place. So you'll see the distance, so it's about 10 kilometers. So
Yeah.
you can imagine, you have to wake up in the morning, walk 10 kilometers to school, and then walk 10 kilometers back. That's around 90 minutes of walking. So that's 3 hours a day of just walking to and from school, right? Number one. Number two, in my township here in Tsietsi Katlehong, a lot of people don't have means to even buy bread, right? You can find that there's a household of 4 people, a single parent with 3 kids, that probably in a week they live through 50 bucks, right? We just blew 50 bucks with amaskopas and cold drink. That for them, it's literally what they have for the entire week, which is sad, man. That's how I grew up. I remember going to school as well sometimes without eating, and then you get feeding skin at school, and then you come back home, there's no food. You have to now go to bed hungry, and then you wake up the following morning, you haven't even eaten anything, you go back to school,
Okay.
right? So a lot of my friends, man, they've contributed to that by bringing me food, buying me breakfast and whatnot. But then as I grew, got to Cape Town, I realized that even in Khayelitsha, people are living like that, right? In Philippi, people are living like that. That's why I'm like, you know what, let me grow the impact of Ulwazi. Instead of just focusing on kids from Katlehong, we've got a campus in Midrand, we've got a campus in Cape Town to cover those kids. We've got a campus now in Durban. We're building a campus in the Free State, in Limpopo. So we're just growing. And yeah, just to make sure that the impact is felt, man. So for me, yeah, it was that was the biggest driver to say I've lived through poverty. I know what poverty is. Yes, God has blessed me with a few things now, exactly what I need. And instead of gunning for more, I thought, you know what, let me share that with people, because it makes no sense for you to be wealthy, but spiritually you are empty. You don't care for the next brother and sister.
Okay.
So yeah.
No. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. And because I'm just thinking, you ran to speak and to bring light into those type of challenges.
Sure.
So, the funds
Yeah.
that came through that initiative that you were trying to raise, how are you planning to use them to specifically speak to those type of challenges that kids are facing today?
Sure. So I think even the proposal, even on the website, we put 3 main things that we want to do, right? Firstly, it's school uniform. I think in my 4 years of high schooling, I had only 2 pairs of shoes. So grade 8 and 9, 10, I think I used the same shoe. And then grade 11 and 12, because my feet was a bit bigger, I used the same shoe. I know a lot of learners that go to school with a shoe that's torn, your toes are out and whatnot. So the first thing to get people school shoes, make sure that at least everyone is not, for lack of a better word, ashamed to go to school, because people laugh at you. You know how growing up in townships, I mean, Khayelitsha, probably people laugh at you for not having, right? And you're made to feel like it's your fault to not have. So that's one mission that we are covering. The second one, obviously, is through Ulwazi tuition. So we're going to make sure that we adopt as many learners as possible to tutor. So the funds will go to paying off tutors and whatnot, but linked to that as well as nutrition, meaning that we're going to be able to now have the kids eat at the Ulwazi centers. We're going to have the kids Monday to Friday, at least they can come in the morning for like porridge before school, you know. So yeah, that's nutrition, that's school uniform and shoes, and then it's tutoring. That's how we're going to distribute the funds.
Okay, wonderful. And with regards to a timeline, when can that be a thing that goes off?
You know, it's crazy because this is the first December in the past 6 or 7 years where I get to rest and not do anything. So right now we could have our summer camp going, but when I came back from the run, I was talking to my lady and she's like, nope, you need to sit and rest. You need to sit and reflect, right? So in this reflection space, in this sitting space and being still and not doing any work, I think we are planning. So hopefully latest by March we are going to kick off, but classes, Ulwazi classes are going to kick off in January. On the 3rd of January, people in matric, they are starting off. I know that they're going to hate me, but we can't start later than that.
Okay. No. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. But then now that's like part of the initiative that you ran for personally, but also under the umbrella of Ulwazi.
Sure.
You mentioned that Ulwazi is having campuses across the country,
Sure.
Cape Town, Durban, here, and also in Midrand.
Yeah.
That sounds more like you are building something on the same scale as Ikuro. you know, so you're just doing your own thing. But I'd like to understand more. What's the idea around, like, what's like the vision?
Okay, so the vision is literally easy. For me, it was building a vehicle that's going to serve both education but also education outside the classroom. So I want to teach in the classroom, but I understand that there are certain learners that don't see things in the classroom, but they'll have the likes of, oh, I'm good in sports, I'm good in chess, I'm good in pool, I'm good in this, right? That's why we are an academy, we are not a school. So yeah, we are trying to build, I don't want to say a curo, but a Kasi version of that.
Okay.
Where learners from the townships who grew up in Katlehong and Philippi in Kailicha, Umlazi in Durban, they've got an opportunity to say, you know what, we've had a good school. Over and above that, we were introduced to things like entrepreneurship, we were introduced to things like different careers. Because when I grew up, funny enough, I went to UCT to study BCom accounting. But when I got there, they told me, your math is so good, why don't you do actuarial sciences? Again, I didn't know what actuarial sciences was. They explained it to me, it's like a lot of maths, like a lot of stats. I'm like, that's fun, let's do it. But then I was lucky enough that in my second semester, I was introduced to finance. I'm like, but I love this, so can't I have this and maths and stats? They'll be like, okay, cool, we've got a quantitative finance degree, right? And then I switched my second year from BCom accounting to quantitative finance, where I did stats, maths, and finance. And it is the best thing I've ever studied in my life, right? But again, kids from Katlehong, they don't know that.
Yeah.
If we were to walk around here and ask people about different careers, it's the things that we see. We are limited by our physical sight, what we see here. But then I just want them to be exposed to other opportunities. That's why even through my podcast, I try and interview people from different scales of life so that they can actually see the kids that, there's this, there's that, there's nursing, there's that. I remember one time a school kid was trying to be bossy and say, I just want to be a taxi driver, trying to be a class clown, right? And then I spoke about the logistics of becoming a taxi owner, right? And it's not that, okay, cool, you're making 800 a day and that's it. No, that 800 per day, you times it by 5, that's 4,000 rands, right? Monday to Friday. That 4,000 rands, you times it by Saturday, Sunday, maybe you might do 1,000. That means you've made 6,000 a week. That is how much? 6, 12, 18, 24, 24,000 a month. You could make a living out of it. 24,000, you're able to cover your loan, but over and above that, you can get a second taxi. So he changed his mindset as well, realizing that being a taxi owner doesn't just mean right? But there's a business mind that you need to have behind that. So not everyone is going to be a doctor, not everyone is going to be an actuary, not everyone is going to be a quant like me and go do data analytics. But there's certain careers, there's certain things that you see in the townships that can actually make you your own boss as well. And these kids are not thinking beyond that because Ekasi, there aren't enough people that grew up here that make it and still come back to plow and sow seeds in the township. You understand?
And then,
so, yeah.
and then when you want to be one of those people
Yes,
that
I
actually
want to
do.
bridge that gap as well, to be like, okay, I grew up here, now I live comfortably in the suburbs, I can't say where I stay, but over and above that, I'm here almost every weekend, sowing seeds into the lives of the kids in Katlehong.
That's nice. That's
Yeah.
nice. But then, because that's a very interesting take or approach to life, especially when you grew up in the townships,
Sure.
went through through like the hardships of staying in the township,
Sure.
and making through, and then be like, oh, I've made it, but I want to come back and give back. I'm thinking, how did the young TS in you, the one who walked 10 kilometers a day, what kept that boy from waking up each and every day, having an idea and a mindset to say, I'll go to school and I'll spend 90 minutes walking, 90 minutes coming back, and I'll get past high school and I'll go to the University of Cape Town and I'm going to be this qualified person and I'm going to be this person. What kept you going?
The easy answer is the fear of staying in Katlehong for the rest of my life. I grew up here. I don't want to stay here. I actually want to help here.
Yeah.
And for me to help, I needed to take myself out of it, right?
Yeah.
And back in the days, the only ways I knew was to either become a gangster or literally through education. And education changed my life.
Yeah.
And now I'm trying to teach now to say, hey guys, there is some light. Yes, people in suburbs will tell you, oh no, there's AI for this, AI for that. But in townships, these people don't even know what Wi-Fi is yet, right? So you can't come here and be like, okay, cool, you can learn robotics and coding, this and this. No, they still need someone to teach them. They still need someone to walk the journey, but equally they need someone they can relate to. I've brought a lot of companies here. They come here wearing suits and whatnot. They speak this kind of English, and the learners can't relate. They're not even listening, which is the biggest issue, right?
Yeah.
But if you find someone the learners can relate to, and say, okay, cool, guys, this is where I grew up. Some of them, they know that, okay, sharp, there's TS's home. We know him.
Yeah.
We see him parked his car there every weekend.
Yeah.
And then they relate. They be like, okay, I want to look like Abuti TS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, because for me that's like also a very interesting point, because you'd find that these days, life when you were growing up, let's say 15 years ago, while you were still going through schooling, we did not have, or you did not have so many alternatives to making it.
Yeah.
Like to be like, okay, I can make it through this TikTok, I can be viral, or I can have a YouTube channel, or I can do whatever that can make me to have access to money, that I don't have to see schooling as an important factor.
Sure.
So how do you think kids these days, because apart from those TikTok ends, there's like crime involved. Like kids grow up in the township, they see that, I went to varsity, I see this person who's this old figure now. I'm going through school, I can see this old figure who went to varsity, but then they come and sit, because that's like the current state of,
Sure,
of like the country. How do you then speak and motivate, and how do you keep the students that are already part of Ulwazi to have that tunnel vision, to still see the impact of education?
Sure. I think UCT, when I went to UCT, I think I only attended lectures in my first year. So from second year to honors, I was hustling, right? And again, that's why we are an academy and not a school. So we're going to teach you things like, okay, cool, this is how you do maths, this is how you do physics, this is how you do accounting. But then we're going to, next year, for the first time ever in Katlehong, we are introducing now accounting projects where we're going to teach you accounting on Excel. Instead of just writing, we teach you how to become a bookkeeper, right? You'll still be taught accounting principles and stuff so that you can pass at school, but now we are adding another skill. Now you can get your matric, go to varsity, but be a bookkeeper somewhere.
Nice.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's pretty much the approach that we are taking. People who are doing science, we're going to try and bring a science lab here,
Yeah.
right? And say, okay, cool. This is when you mix 1, 2, 3, you can create a perfume. Now when you need different scents, a sunflower, maybe it smells like this, this and that, right? But
Yeah.
over and above that, we're going to have conferences about careers. I think I want to do every second month in Katlehong, bring a lot of my friends that are in different spaces, different careers, literally just talk live to these kids, right? A lot of people just know TS as the face of Ulwazi. They don't know that I'm a DJ. They don't know that I'm a venture capitalist. They don't know that I do 10 other things on the side, right? The big things that I speak about, obviously, it's my family, it's Ulwazi, and then making music and being a DJ. But now I'm podcaster as well, right? So talking about all of those, I think for me should be motivation enough to see that you're only limited to the extent that you can stretch your mind.
That's very profound, because it takes me back now to the running. Like I feel like already sitting here,
Yeah.
I can't just be running to Midrand. And and we drove from Midrand to
Yeah.
come here.
Yeah.
I can't just run to Midrand.
Sure.
Like speaking on the same line that you just used of understanding your limitations.
Yeah.
Just walk us through again to the running. Like which part of yourself did you actually realize about the running that kept you going?
I think my brain. There was a point, I think, on day 7 and 8, when we got to the Free State. It started storming every day for almost a week, right? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I was running in the rain. And then on Friday, I woke up at 4 and it was raining. I'm like, nah, I'm not doing this. And then cool. When I sat down, I'm like, I'm not doing this. A thought came, like, okay, cool. There's a boy in Katlehong or in Kailicha who looked at you and be like, I want to see if he's going to make it. But equally, I look up to this guy because he has no limitations. But also, there's another person who's sitting there like, I bet on my life that this one is not going to make it. So I'm like, okay, cool. I need to make it so that the ones that are looking up to me can say, okay, he's done it, and I can also do it. But also to shut up those ones, the naysayers, to say, nah, it's impossible and whatnot. So my brain and the capacity at which I needed to convince myself, because during the run, my partner was in there. During the run, most of my friends that I look up to went there. It was just me and running. And then God showed up for me, literally comforted me. There was a point I broke one of my bones on my knee. Went to physio, they told me that you need a week break. I'm like, I'm not taking a week break. I can't afford that. This thing must be done in 30 days. They were like, okay, cool, good luck then. I'm like, okay, thank you. And then I went through the pain. There was, I think, 2 days where I was literally just walking. I walked for 11 hours just to cover 50 kilometers. So literally, it's your brain, man.
That is so funny, man, because it's like it's such a big commitment as well,
Sure.
you know. But also, such a big commitment that it's individual based.
Yeah.
So if you had stopped TS, I don't think anyone would have been like, I'm not gonna sleep because TS didn't stop.
Yes.
So like the fact that you continue doing it, like, says a lot about you. And for me, it goes back to the point that those 10-kilometer walks that you'll be doing to school,
Yeah, they played a huge
yeah,
role.
like
played a huge role now.
they played like an impactful role in
Yeah.
you being able
Sure.
to do that. But in terms of the team, the guys that were there with you, because I would see that, you know, there's like a car behind you, there's one like someone taking content. How did those people being present impact you?
Okay, so team dynamics, we had about 5 cars, so people just saw 2, right?
Oh.
There was a car always ahead of us. It was a security car and a car very far behind us, and then the car doing admin, and then the other 2 cars where people were taking content and whatnot. So obviously I needed to make sure that I'm safe, but also picking the team that, first of all, I knew they were crazy, so I'll always laugh. I'll always have something to look forward to. During the run, they'll motivate you. During the run, they'll be fighting about stupid things. And then you laugh, you listen to these stories, you're like, Mara, guys, that time I have a knee problem, right? But yes, having a team of solid-minded people played a huge role, because they themselves, imagine driving a car at 5 or 10 kilometers per hour just to keep up with a running person. You get bored. There was one guy who told me this other day he was bored. He slept while driving. And then when he woke up, he's like, oh, the car is still moving, right? So over and above that, man, I think, yeah, having a solid team of people that just want to see you win played a huge impact. So now I'm motivated to be like, we are doing it, boys, right? They keep making jokes. You've got water. I think it took them about 3 days to learn that, okay, after every 45 minutes, you need water or electrolytes or a fruit, or you need salt, or you need something sweet. They've picked up that, okay, cool, when you run at this pace, you're still fresh, but when you start running a bit slower, maybe the pain is hard, then we need to come give you ice and press on your knee and whatnot. So, yeah, the team played a huge role, and also them being there physically, it helped to say, you know what, I'm not doing this by myself. As much as I was doing most of the running, and they were driving and taking content, it felt like a group assignment where each and everyone has a role to play. And for me to be able to run and get to Cape Town, each and everyone played. It's like a system in a company. There's HR, there's finance, there's operation, there's this and that, right? Those systems, they work together. Some systems may be glorified more than others. Again, myself, I was the face of the run, but then it couldn't have been possible without all the cars. Couldn't have been possible without the 18 months planning. Could have been possible without the people that were posting on my socials, right? So yeah, I think it's important to have a proper solid team where there's trust, there's loyalty, there's friendship, and you guys are just having fun.
That's wonderful. That's
Yeah.
that's because I believe that's essentially one of the most important things. Like having a good support system is one of the things that can make life more bearable. Because life can be challenging.
Yeah.
Life can be very painful as well. Now, speaking about pain, I saw a clip of you.
What was good?
But it's like, no, I don't want you to laugh, or I
Yeah.
don't want to create this this situation whereby I'm laughing because
Yeah.
this question that I'm going to ask you
Yeah.
can be seen as a fragile moment in your life.
Sure,
You know, it's like
sure.
because you were crying in that clip.
Aish.
Yeah, like you were like crying in that clip, and
Yeah.
and then you come from Katlehong.
Yeah.
So Katlehong being the township, black dominated space. If you are in a black space, you understand that as a man you must be masculine.
Sure.
So you showing a sense of emotion up to a point of you crying, because like if you're showing emotion as a man, you have to be pissed, you have to be angry,
Yeah.
you have to be like Hulk. Now you're crying.
Yeah.
What brought you to that moment, and what made you comfortable as well to be crying, especially in front of camera?
Okay, I didn't know the cameras were on. I
Yeah.
need to be honest, but I think I grew up as an angry person, having daddy issues and all that. I got to UCT, I was still very angry until I met my therapist. And then they introduced me to the life of softness. You can be strong and soft at the same time, right? And one of the guys that I look up to in my life, my brother, taught me that, to showcase your muscle and how tough you are, do it through your heart and not your hands and anger and frustration and throwing things around. So for me, it's how I live. Even now with my partner, she might have a very tough day, and as she's explaining, I just start crying because it's painful, right? And I love that about myself. So I don't see crying as a form of weakness anymore. I used to think that like it's a form of weakness, or if girls see me crying, I don't care. I'm free. I'm free from people. I'm free from negative comments. People can do whatever, but I'm just going to do me. And the essence of who Khosi is, TS, it's literally just a genuine person. I hope that I'm genuine enough to everyone. But over and above that, a person who's free and who's not afraid to go through emotions. I mean, even in the Ulwazi classes, sometimes I see a learner comes on a Saturday and you see that this person is troubled, right? And then you just weep and pray for them and cry. It's a form of life, man. Yeah.
Oh, okay, wonderful. Because now you're speaking on the comfortedness that comes with being able to cry and show emotion as a man.
Yeah.
But then in that moment,
Sure.
what was actually happening?
In that moment, we're about 18 kilometers away from our 1,000-kilometer mark. The knee was failing me. I think that morning we had just passed about 30 kilometers, so 20 more kilometers to go, and the knee gave up. And as I was sitting there, I'm like, nah, guys, I can't do this. Because even if you listen to that video, actually, there's someone who's telling me to be like, dude, we're going to make it. You said that you're going to make it to Cape Town, even if you get there crawling, right? And in that moment, I realized that, okay, cool. The boys are switched up now. They want us to do this, and we are going to do this. But yeah, to answer your question, the knee was giving up on me. I was tired. I felt crushed. I was going through it all. And at that moment, I think it was the second time in the run where I thought I was quitting. I just wanted to quit. It was tough. Everything didn't make sense. And then I called my partner, and then she talked me through it. She's like, hey, dude, you know what? If you give up, guess what? Me and your sister, who was there praying for you when you took off, we won't be mad at you. You'd still be a superstar. I mean, you are at 1,000 kilometers now, so you've made it. And when you give up, just know that I'll be proud of you. When you come home, I'll be waiting for you. I'm like, that sounds like a good option, man. Right? But also in that moment, I realized that TS was never a failure. TS left Katlehong and said, I'm going to live in Cape Town, and I'm not going to leave Cape Town until I've achieved 1, 2, 3. By the time I left Cape Town, I think I had shy of about 4 or 5 houses, right? UCT, I went to UCT without money. I made sure that when I leave Cape Town, at least I should have 6 figures in my account, just chilling there, right? And then in that moment, I realized that no, I'm not a failure. I am definitely not quitting. As much as the offer at home sounds appealing, and Lord knows that I came home flying, coming back, but yeah, I couldn't quit.
Yeah.
Because then quitting means that I'm telling all the kids in Katlehong, Kaili Chafilipi, that it's not possible. If you've never seen anyone do it in your own skin, best believe it's not possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, okay, no. That's wonderful, man. That's like because that moment is one of those. Because that moment, even from just seeing the clip, you can see the pain that you're like, yeah, you're going through it here. Because I saw it and then I commented, I was like, yo, keep going, Ezo.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's now that's the pain. That's the hard work. That's you finding motivation, but also a good support system being there. I'm going to come back to that part, but I want to understand, how did it feel now being able to say, I've landed in Cape Town? I want to be able to get the people watching this to experience that moment.
I think I'm still digesting that.
Uh-huh.
Because there were naysayers saying, no, we don't believe that you've made it to Cape Town. People have Strava, people have footages online, but they still say, nah, you didn't make it. There are some parts where you drove. I'm like, why would I drive? Because for me, it's like, I've tried to live an honest life for so long. Why would I cheat myself of this experience, right? So when I got to Cape Town, it was a happy moment. When I got there, actually, I was expecting a lot of people to show up, right? Because TikTok was crazy. Hey, we'll be there, we'll be there. And funny enough, when we got there, it was Thursday. And in that moment where less than 5 people showed up, I'm like, damn. But that moment actually reminded me that you did this for yourself, by yourself. Why then do you expect everyone else to show up?
Yeah.
Right? And I said, I'm like, no, but God, this person had run this and these people showed up and whatnot and whatnot. And then I got reminded to be like, why do you want to be idolized? Right? This was yours. This was your moment. You were trying to do it for the kids. So the emotion that's on the other side, it's exactly the kind of person that I became when I got to Cape Town, which is what I'm still digesting, which is what people will get to experience through being around me, right? So it's hard to answer that question because I'm still digesting it. I'm still taking it in. I got to Cape Town on a Thursday, only to find out that the day before my aunt passed away. So when I got there, literally I had to drive back for the funeral. So I couldn't digest everything. And through December and just chilling at home with my partner and my family, I'll get to digest it properly. I'll get to unpack it for myself so that I can actually share properly to be like what it meant. But for me, it meant everything because I think I've changed quite a lot. And obviously now the closest people that have seen me being back, they do say that you are different.
But then let's expand on that. When you say they're saying that about you, and you also feel like there's a bit of yourself that is like not the same anymore.
Sure.
What does that look like?
I think I gave up myself. I gave up the confidence. I gave up the cockiness because that run broke me. I'm in broken bones, feeling the pain, crying in cameras, and you just had to keep going, right? But then it made me a bit more humble. It made me a bit more meek. I am able to discern a situation, be like, you know what, instead of judging this person, maybe you can support this person. I've realized that a lot of people glorified me and said, oh, you did this and this and that. And then it got me thinking, what about the other people that have done this before for other people and no one glorified them, right? I've had people DM me like, hey, Chief, I'm trying to run Lepalale or something in a small township for kids to have school shoes as well, right? Like, maybe I should go join this person. Now that I've got a little bit of following, maybe I could divert them to this person and shine a spotlight on that person. So that's the different thing, right? And again, comparing that to TS. TS as a DJ, I remember in my prime, I would have 4 gigs, 3 different provinces, right? You get to the airport, you're the main guy, right? Again, it brings up your ego and your cockiness. But now I've given up myself. It taught me how to be more humble. And now I can sit and be like, instead of judging this person, maybe I should help this person. Now we drive sports cars, we drive fast. It's raining, you just want to get home. You could drive fast and splash someone with water, but they run like, no, just slow down. Because the pain that I was feeling when trucks and everyone else was splashing me with water, it's like now you're doing it indirectly, right? So it makes you a bit more matured mentally as well, and for lack of a better word, you are more aware of saving others, even in the smallest of things. Saving doesn't have to go to cameras and big things. Now I can look at a person crying and literally just pray for them, and that will be enough, right? So yeah, I think I answer your question. I
Yeah.
think you're getting a sense of where I am as well mentally.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, but then I can clearly, not clearly as if I actually know how you think,
Sure.
but I do get a sense of what you are trying to relay, and it makes sense to me.
Yeah.
But then you also mentioned something about therapy, because in my mind, I'm linking how running impacts the individual,
Sure.
right? In terms of making them a bit more calm, because I'm seeing that around my peers, because you guys at our age now, everyone is just running. Oh, I'm part of this running club. Oh, I'm doing this marathon.
Yeah.
And then when I meet those people, like, they're not the same people that I met, like,
Yeah.
that I know, you
Yeah.
know, for over a period of time. They're not so
Yes.
they're so mellow, you know.
Yeah,
So I can understand that part. But I'm coming to this part where you're saying you also, growing up, you were an angry person,
Yeah.
and you went to therapy,
Sure.
and then your therapist,
I think my therapy revealed certain emotions that I was afraid of, like crying. Let's use crying as an example.
yeah,
I also believed here it's raw. I remember the other time I spoke on an interview that I woke up one day. You see where this van is?
Yeah.
That's where my shack was. And I woke up one day, I found someone's head by my door. That thing messed me up, right? I remember going to school, and then this lady, around 6 a.m., they were robbing this lady. She refused to give her back. They shot her 4 times and she died there, right? Those things, they mess with you as a person. They make you tough, and you feel as though, you know what, I need to fend for myself, right? So I was always on that defensive mode. So my therapist showed certain emotions to be like, it's okay to have these emotions as a man, and then that kind of calms you down. So with running as well, right? As you run, you clear your mind, you get to think a bit more clearly, you don't have outside influence, it's just you and the road. I mean, 1,500 to Cape Town, it's literally just you and the road. There's people hooting, giving you power, but it's just you and the road, right? And when you are faced with those, I guess you are faced with yourself, you are just challenging yourself, and you are running as this person. When you get there, you meet a different version of you, right? So it's pretty much that, getting a sense of clarity, having to take account of all your thoughts that are coming in, but then you can't give them power to actually help you think negatively and whatnot. Because you know, when you wake up in the morning, you scroll through social media, you see 10 dead people, that already affects how your day goes. But now you're just clearing your thoughts, you are running each and every day. It literally just calms everything down. You don't care about anything else. And personally, I wish people could actually live like that, where you wake up in the morning and you don't have to worry about anything else but the assignment that you're on.
I get that. But then, if you're saying that you'd wish people could live life like that, what do you think currently makes it hard for people to see or have that perspective about life?
The issues that we are surrounded by. I mean, waking up in Katlehong probably is the worst thing ever. And not the entire Katlehong, but some parts of Katlehong.
Yeah.
This is my township. I grew up here. Saturdays, either there's 10 people that died yesterday because they were drinking hard or whatnot, or you wake up and you're faced with there's no food, there's no this, there's no that. And then I think more than therapy, I think Christ, right? For me, I realized that through therapy, yes, I became a better person, but also surrendering my life to Christ gave me so much more peace in my life, because now it's like, okay, cool. I'm struggling with this, but what did Jesus say, right? How can we handle this? Because each and everything that happens in our lifetime, you can find answers for in the scripture.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be too spiritual, because someone is hungry, be like, you're telling me about God and I'm hungry. Where have you seen God? Does God do miracles?
Yeah.
I'm a living testament of God does do miracles, right? Because even throughout this run, I can tell you 90% of the run, it was just me and God talking. And he kept me going, because I'm like, okay, I want to give up. Okay, cool. What does scripture say about giving up? And then you keep going. Yes, there's motivational speakers, there's this, there's that, but over and above that, having a sense of pure clarity in your heart and your mind, it was the biggest thing, man.
That's wonderful, man.
Yeah.
That's also impactful. But then I'm also this one person that is like big on practicality and
Sure.
reality.
Sure.
And then now we're still speaking about the impact of the running
Yeah.
and Ulwazi on the kids,
Sharp.
on the school children.
Sharp.
So you mentioned the factors that affect life in Katlehong.
Yeah.
Like access to crime, people just showing up dead, and all of those things.
Mm.
All of those factors shape the kids.
Sure.
Not just the people, because the kids become the people.
Sure.
But all of those factors shape the kids growing up in Katlehong.
Sure.
But the majority of those kids do not have access to people like TS. Maybe, let's say, for example, there's like 10 people staying here, 10 kids.
Sure.
Maybe one or two of them will have access to you. So if you could, in an instant, hypothetically, could become the president of Katlehong and you had access to like resources,
Sure.
what would you be your first thing that you'd be looking to change or to bring to Katlehong to make life more bearable, man?
I think going to Cape Town, getting to Cape Town and seeing how people lived in Cape Town was the first thing that said, I'm not going back to Katlehong. So I think the environment, I wouldn't take them out of Katlehong because that would be an expensive exercise, but I would change the environment at which they live. So
Okay.
making sure that everyone has at least has food for the day, that would be enough, right?
Yeah.
If you don't have to stress about food, then what else can you stress about?
Yeah.
Okay, water and sanitation. Let's provide water and sanitation. If that is sorted, then what else are you stressing about? And then those small things that people don't actually pay attention to, right?
Yeah.
I mentioned that Ulwazi will have its own Katlehong running things, right? So through running, the community might join in, but more than anything, I want the learners to come and experience a different side of them, right? Instead of just us sitting in classes, we're going to do the same things that we do in Cape Town, take learners to the Table Mountain, go hiking, go do picnics and whatnot. So I would change small things that we overlook, because in Cape Town, life is a bit slow and life is simple. Yes, Cape Town, the suburban side, in Kailicha is rough. But me having experienced that calmness to say, you can actually wake up at 2 a.m. and go run. That was mind-blowing to me. In Katlehong, you can't do that, right? So introducing an environment where learners could have a sense of peace and safety. I mean, Dubai, for example. In Dubai, whatever you lose, where you lost it, you'll find it. There's no crime, no one is gonna rock up to you with a gun or whatnot. So if you can create that environment, let's use Tsietsi, my hometown. Say Tsietsi has proper security, has food, all the learners, they've got the things that they need to be able to focus on school or focus on their entrepreneurship ventures or whatever their passion is. Because I mean, learners in Katlehong don't even dream, right? You are introduced to dreaming when you get to varsity. Or you are introduced to dreaming when you see, oh, TS came with this car, next week it's a different car. You're like, what does TS do? Probably is a dark, but okay, cool. I would love to live like TS. Then you start dreaming, and then you figure out what, oh, TS does 1, 2, 3. Now you want to do 1, 2, 3, right? So having enough change in the environment and bringing impactful people to say they shouldn't see TS as the face of Katlehong, but I can bring luck, I can bring Karao, I can bring Orine, right? Each and everyone that I grew up with at UCT, that I know they're killing it. We can bring those people and have different conversations, because I think more than anything, words have got so much power, but also the people that people can relate to. You grew up in Kailija. When we got to UCT, we are friends because I related to you. You were the cool guy, right? Abu Lut and everyone we grew up with at Leo Makwat. Literally, that's pretty much it. It's an environment and you create a culture, and through that culture, people change.
That's true.
And it's as simple as that.
Yeah, that's true. That's literally like impact. For you to have impact, first of all, people must relate to you.
Sure.
And the relativeness part is very important, but also the support structure. Because in my mind, I'm thinking, how do I link the whole running aspect, how you set up for the running, to the real life aspect of you trying to solve, which is kids having access to good resources around school, so which means transport for those that stay far, food and nutrition for those that actually need to concentrate, because
Sure.
in fact, you cannot teach like a hungry child. So I'm taking that in my mind, thinking, how does that transport and actually becomes a reality of you running? Because your setup of you running, you're saying that you had a car at the back, you had a car in front, you had two cars for content for admin
Sure.
as well, and you were the one that was running. Now I take that in a living experience of a kid. There's a kid who wakes up, struggles for shoes, struggles for school uniform, struggles for food. They're walking that road alone going to school. Ulwazi is coming in saying, I want to be the car at the back,
Sure.
the car in front,
Sure.
the car for admin.
Yeah.
Because I cannot walk the journey with the kid.
Sure.
But I can make the journey for the kid bearable.
Sure.
I can be that support structure when the kid feels like going to school is not worth it anymore. I can be a word of reason in their ear. I can be a word of reason in their mind.
Sure.
With regards to picture, by showing him how does the end product look like, you know. So that's what I'm looking at, Mama.
Sure.
I'm thinking, so your story, going from walking 10 kilometers to school and coming back, still lives through Ulwazi.
Sure.
And Ulwazi is changing the narrative for the new age TS.
Sure.
You know, so that's like a very interesting thing, and the key part about it as well, which is clearly exposed, is having a good support structure.
Solid. I think you've summed it up nicely, right? Because even if you look at how I teach at Ulwazi, right, we'll make jokes and whatnot, we play, but at the end of the day, even when I give them homework, I give them a lot of homework because I don't want them to be stressed by anything else, right? Grade 12s, they're the worst. They get like 200 questions a day, right? Why? Because I want you to get home and literally just focus on that. Because I realize as well, having access to free thought, for lack of a better word, makes your mind go wild and then you're stressed about a lot of things. But if you get home, you know I've got 200 maths questions, 200 physics questions, 200 life sciences questions. Then by the time you're done, you're tired, you go to sleep. When you wake up in the morning, I usually get books for the kids in Cape Town because they pay a bit more. You wake up, you read a book because you know we're going to discuss a book at some point in time, right? You wake up, you go for a run because we're going to now start running with the kids. We're going to come to Katlehong maybe 5 a.m. We say, okay, cool. On Tuesdays, we are running 5 kilometers. The learners now are exposed to a different life, right? Through this running, we were chatting to say, look at how Kuro took Walaza's story serious. Walaza won the Olympic, Kuro sports blue, right? Kuro now, they are winning 100 meters. They are winning 200 meters. In Katlehong, they are chased by dogs every day. You know that 100 meters, they finish it in 10 seconds. So that power as well is exactly what I want to nurture. To say, okay, cool, imagine there's a dog behind you. Let's go 100 meters, go compete with Cure.
And then they can relate to that.
They can relate to that, right?
Yeah, that's a very important thing.
Sure.
Okay, no. It's been a wonderful chat, and I'm thinking now, for you to close it would only make sense if you can speak to the kid that is TS that was walking 10 kilometers and coming back, speaking to them and telling them that this is the end product now, but we're still working on it. But this is what you got to experience, that you will get to experience while walking and finishing those 10 kilometers.
Okay, I think let's do that.
Yeah.
It's raining now, so we'll come back to this conversation when we get to the suburbs.
Cool.